Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. I'm your host, Old Heart. You can call me Jared if you want. I actually really don't care. What I really want to be called, of course, is the topic of today's show. You can call me Batman or Batman. I don't know if I have a good Batman voice. Kevin Conroy is my Batman. He does the best Batman voice. Shout outs to the other episode I did on Batman the Animated Series. Go check it out. It's another Coffee and Contemplation. But today, I wanted to talk about my main man and the cowl because today is the 2019 Batman Day. That's right, not Batman Well Day, but Batman Day. Although to be fair, Batman Well deserves a shout out. Oh my God. Batman has had such a major influence on me and my life. And I know that makes me sound horribly lame and nerdy, but that's okay, dear listener, if you're out there. If you're hidden in the ether out there, wanting to listen to my ramblings. But, you know, like I said, Batman was a huge character to me. Growing up, me and my brothers watched Batman the Animated Series. We were exposed to the movies. I had Batman action figures up the fucking wazoo. Maybe not wazoo, but up I had a lot of Batman. Between us, we had Batman action figures. Let's just say that. After a while, they were all kind of thrown in one big pot, and we just kind of pulled from them. But and the storylines, oh my God. Especially as you get older. And I know this sounds weird because I'm talking about comic books here, but as you get older, the more you are able to understand some of the complex storylines that they are churning out or that they have been churned out with this single character. I remember, I just wanted to cover a couple of my brief Batman pivotal moments. One would definitely be the Batman animated series. Again, I did a podcast on that. It established the tone, the atmosphere of what I expect from a Gotham City, and it gave weight to those characters. It was just a cartoon show, but it gave weight to those characters. It introduced Kevin Conroy as the voice of Batman. It introduced Mark Hamill as the Joker. Anytime I'm reading comic books, I hear their voices in my head when I'm reading Joker's dialogue or Batman's dialogue. And that's not a joke. You get attached to these people. Some people hear, fucking Michael Keaton, which would be strange. But that brings me to my next point. My next pivotal moment. And I remember this very distinctly. Growing up, my mom's best friend would sometimes babysit me and my brothers. I have two brothers, and we were kind of a handful. And I would just get lost in her house full of just stuff. She had tons of classic VHS Disney movies. She had just tons of just VHS movies that we didn't have because, I don't know. For some reason, there was this weird stigma at my house. They were trying to raise some good Christian boys. Let's be real about that. My first experience with the 1989 Batman movie, the Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson powerhouse, was at my mom's best friend's house while we were being babysat one day. And I remember it very distinctly because I remember looking at the cover and getting the chills right away from Jack Nicholson's, that little picture of Jack Nicholson as the Joker on the back cover. It spooked me as a kid. And I mean, this is probably probably 94, 95 maybe. So, you know, I like, but that movie itself was just mind-blowing. Prince's soundtrack, like, blew me away as a kid when I was starved for music. I heard some of the songs in that, and I just, like, didn't even know what to do about that. Some of the lines, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Huh, fucker? Like, that line is delicious. You ever, like, if you ever watch that movie, like, it also like establishes the weight and the gravity of not just like Gotham City, but the characters. Michael Keaton really brings some fucking weight to that role, even though you like, I feel like in the moment nobody expected him to. Like, he caught so much shit. There were articles written that were like, please don't make Michael Keaton Batman, because he was only a comedy actor until that role. And that's what people looked at him as. And here we are. Shit! Shout outs to Castle Roll, my old Heart Radio co-host. Shout outs to Mooner6. Shout outs to Uncaged. Shout outs to my younger brother Bugatron. Shout outs to anybody listening out there. I appreciate you. You're doing great. You know, and shout outs to myself. It's been a while since I shouted myself out. I'm doing great also. Thanks for asking, dear listeners. I don't even think anybody's asking or listening. So 1989 Batman. It made Batman real to me. And again, so I'm gonna jump from that to let's see, probably the first time I read Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. There's so much I could say about this book. The story is heavy. The story is about Bruce. It starts off with Batman battling Bruce Wayne, and I say that very specifically. It's not Bruce Wayne battling Batman. It's Batman battling Bruce Wayne. Batman's this inner demon that has been contained in this shell for so many years. That shell is Bruce Wayne. And it starts off with like Bruce in this like high stakes like automotive race. He's like an old man getting his fucking adrenaline kicks because he can't be Batman anymore. But then as you progress, you start seeing these things it tells the story of Joker being in a catatonic state basically since Batman retired. How Batman is trying to burst through that shell of Bruce Wayne. He's waking up in the middle of the night and shaving his mustache mysteriously and just like wandering butt naked down to the Batcave. And then you start seeing him creep and crawl out of the shadows. He embraces the bat again. And people think he's legend. And then people hate him again. And he just, as an older version of himself, like narrating how his bones are aching and his muscles aren't what they used to be, and how 10 years ago he could have done this faster and better and more efficiently. He's still kicking fucking ass, dude. And the artwork matches the story perfectly. It's this weird kind of like gritty, cartoony look at these characters. And I mean, it's Klaus Janson and like, or Janssen, I don't even know how to pronounce, I haven't looked up how to pronounce his last name, which is a shame on me. But like it, and of course the book climaxes in the, you know, battle that we saw represented in the Batman versus Superman movie, but also isn't the main focus of that storyline. You know, there's a whole sequence where the Joker kind of dupes everybody into thinking that he is sane and he's recovered, because he wakes up after the Batman retires. The Joker wakes up out of his stupor, right? And so he gasses like a fucking live studio audience, kills a bunch of people, goes on a rampage at a carnival, and eventually Batman has to come, like he has to try, like go for the throat. Like it's Joker or Batman. One of them is gonna die, and Batman refuses to kill the Joker. And one of the most Nar scenes still in my head, and panels. One of the most Nar panels in my head is the Joker breaking his own neck to get the last laugh at Batman because he knows everybody else will think Batman killed him. It's fucked. It's such a weighty story. If you haven't read The Dark Knight Returns as a comic book fan, you're doing something wrong. And I don't mean to be insulting, but that's just truth. Go out there and pick up a copy or read it somehow. Another pivotal moment for me for Batman. Honestly, I gotta be honest, and I know this is kind of dividing, the Batman Forever movies. The Batman Forever movie blew me away. It introduced Robin, which I thought was cool. Jim Carrey's Riddler was just like out. He popped right off the screen. And it was just a bigger, kind of more fun, wild ride than the other previous two movies, which were very great at being dark. I didn't even talk about Batman Returns, but I could just do a separate podcast on the Batman movie series, which I might just do. But it's the story, it's the character. That's kind of, I started off, I think, being attached to the visual aspect of Batman, and as I said, the older you get, the more I feel like you can kind of understand the depth to the character and to the characters, the rogues gallery, the city of Gotham itself. Like, you can understand aspects of this as you get older. Batman has been a hero for so many. He's one of the most popular characters of all time. And it all started with a promise to never let something as horrible as his parents getting gunned down in the streets happen to anybody else again. Damn, I wish I could hold a promise like that. I can barely make a promise to record a fucking podcast. You know what I mean? That shit's wild. We all need to be a little more like Batman. Stick to our fucking guns. Stick to our... Not guns. Batman doesn't use guns. Unless you're Ben Affleck. Stick to your word. You know? Happy Batman Day out there, everybody. I hope you all use your brains for good and have a great day. This has been another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. Old Heart Radio's... one of Old Heart Radio's podcasts. You know? Everybody deserves a little something. And I like to do these things for myself. I hope somebody's out there listening. I hope y'all get laughs out of how much I sound like an asshole, or maybe you learned something. Either way, look us up on Instagram at Old Heart Radio. Look us up on Twitter at Old Heart in Space. Reach out if you have anything you ever want us to talk about. As always, though, dear friends, put your cowl back on and get out there to ripen up your coconut as best you can. Because I am vengeance. I am the night. We are all Batman. Have a great motherfucking day, and keep your stick on the ice.